like caulk. I was thinking about it, and I love travel. I love our lifestyle with, sailing the world and exploring. But now with our new plan to do the Caribbean and then to go over to Europe and do the Med and Northern Europe, we will probably be outside of the United States for a year and a half. I know we're going to be out of the United States even longer once we cross the Panama Canal, but this is like our first really big time away from the US. It's still my home, and I don't know, I feel very emotional about it. It's really, I don't know what to say. So our next stop from Annapolis is going to be Bermuda. We do have to do some work for Shotzi, including a vet health certificate. So I'll be taking her to the vet on Saturday for that. And then we have to fill out an import permit. And I was confused because it was asking me the address and phone of the importer. I'm like, okay, well, I'm the importer. But then it's like the exporter. I'm like, who's that? Well, that's me as well. So for the importing, you put the bay where you're going to stay in Bermuda, which is St. George's Bay. And then for the exporter, I just put my name and our Georgia address.
And if all that paperwork weren't enough just to get the dog in, as most of you know, with every country, there's import paper requirements as well to get in through immigration and customs. So not only do you have to go to the Bermuda site and fill out all this information, you also have to go and use SailClear to get yourself checked in as well. But what's frustrating about all this paperwork is so much of it is just time sensitive. For example, the dog health certificate, you have like a 10-day window, but we're sitting here waiting on a weather window and warranty work. So that 10 days can go awfully quick, and then the poor dog is going to have to go get poked and prodded again. We have to get new crew because the weather window and all the warranty work is just throwing that timeline off. So that's probably a bigger frustration at times.
And what do I have to say about all that? Whatever.
One of the features we have on our boat is the ability to transfer fuel between the port fuel tank and the starboard fuel tank. And here's how that generally works. Here you see the Marco pump. And then you can see up top we have a starboard supply line. We have a port supply line. And then you have a port return as well as a starboard return. So with the way these are positioned and set up right now, I'm going to transfer fuel from the starboard side over to the port side. You can see the port valve is in line. This port line is not. That means it's closed. Now that we have the fuel pump settings correct, we have to come back here on the starboard engine side, since that's where we're pulling from, and set up our two Raycor fuel water separators to be able to basically polish the fuel as it comes through and transfers over to the other side. So here's just a matter of picking which Raycor fuel water separator we choose to use. If the lever is in this configuration, you can see it makes an L, so it points to this one. Make sure that that's open. We're not using this one, we close that. Then the last piece is we have to open that transfer pump valve right there. If we wish to use this, then we would close that, open this one up, and then turn that valve that direction. So you basically have the L that opens it up that way. With this being our starboard side fuel tank, one last thing I did on both sides is I just kind of came in here and just did a quick check and made sure everything's nice and tight, with the clamp hoses and the fittings and whatever, so that if there is any fuel leakage, it'll be mitigated. The last step is we come to our circuit breaker panel, turn that on, and now you can hear, you can actually see the fuel being transferred. Now, because it does push the fuel through the fuel water separators, and it's basically polishing the fuel, it's going to take a while to see any difference. But here you can see, here's our baseline. We have 84% on the port and 84% on the starboard. At least that's what our gauges are telling us. All right, as you can see, the port side is now at 100%, but why the starboard side is still at 84%, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I just need to let the sensors kind of catch up with themselves, but looks like the fuel transfer process is working. Now, if you recall, I just said that I went into each of the fuel tanks and tightened everything, but obviously there is still a little bit of a leak because you can see the fuel leaking. So I cleaned up that little bit of fuel, and as you can see, it's starting to pool up here again. So I need to tighten that one. Looks like it's coming up underneath here as well. So a couple of tasks to complete. For those of our viewers who are balance owners, this is all on the balance owners portal. For other owners, if you buy a boat that comes with a fuel transfer system, it might look very much the same. Is we have the ability to transfer water from the port side to the starboard side and vice versa using the pumps, the freshwater pumps that we have on both sides. The real trick is all you got to do is just rotate that valve to the open position and then just only use whichever pump you wish to use to pull. Simple as that.
Look at that concentration, and that dedication, just sharpening our knives. Woohoo! These fresh eggs from Kevin of M Yacht, and look at all the different colors.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with them?
I'm gonna put in a noodle soup.
Mmm. It is so mesmerizing. It's like fire.
It's like sexy lightsabers.
Tradition with your crew, you create a pin of colors, and that's how you identify your napkin. So we keep reusing. Bella, let's see your pin. There we go.
But we had them, well, do many things, but they inspected our rudder. Even the thing is messed up somehow. So try and sort things out.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, we're going because we still don't have a working electric furler, and they promised they would work on our boat tomorrow. So they already have a dock ready for us.
It's ridiculously shallow getting in there. We bottomed out.
We're coming up
Yeah.
on high tide.
Yeah, high tide is at 4 o'clock, and I think it's around 2. We know if the bottom of the sign is underwater, then we have enough depth. I'm so thrilled to have all of you. You guys have been an incredible crew. What do you got going on there?
Caramelizing some sugar on top of some candied cinnamon apple. Yeah.
And then what's in the pot, Rosella?
Doing some curry oxtails. Just have to put some potatoes in now. We're almost done.
Can we turn power on before we put it all in place?
So Roger, you're saying you have to replace these all the time?
We've had to do quite a few
Yeah.
in the last few years.
Is it an install thing or a product thing?
I think at first it was kind of unclear. A lot of it was ventilation problems. I see that they've added blowers and stuff like that trying to cure that.
Moving stuff from the old drawers for the fridge to the new. A few days ago, we got 2-pound bags of ice and put it in the Yeti cooler because we knew this was the plan. And here it is days later, and we got tons of ice, and here's the rest of our refrigerator items. I can't believe it. In one day, Zimmerman's fixed our electric furler, which, you know, we haven't had basically for a year. Replaced our fridge where the display was not working, and fixed the grill, which M Yacht had messed up when they rewired it. So we are good to go. We're gonna go about 30 miles to Cape Charles and meet up with our buddy boat crew, Eliza, Jane, Don, and Kim, and their crew. We have been waiting for over 4 months for warranty items to be complete, and bam!
Done.
Celebration time. What are you doing?
We are packing wood with epoxy to act as a wood filler, so we can then later drill a pilot hole into it and screw these things together, because This side of the drawer is stripped.
It looks like someone did an extra
Yeah,
hole there.
line the holes.
Rosella, what are you doing?
I'm making chicharrones with chicken skin. So
Yum. And what do you put on them before you fry them?
just cornstarch and seasoning.
Poor Shotzi is wearing the collar of shame. Her left eye has been kind of closed, and I've noticed both eyes have been extra goopy. At first I attributed it to different climate right here being on the hard, but Dennis took her to the vet yesterday and she has an ulcer in her eye. So when we put the ointment in, she wants to rub it like crazy. So that's why she has to wear the collar until she gets over it.
I'm a rubber and I can't help it.
Aww.
And I'm furry.
I know, she needs a haircut. How are you feeling, little Shotzi? Too much rich food for you? How are your eyes healing? Yeah, look pretty good. We're getting better.
The roller coaster of boat life. This pin is too big for the hole, and it's not one of those situations where you can just keep shoving away.
But they have a piece that we think is the one that's supposed to go there.
Right. So, I mean, I could put this piece on there, but then the question becomes,
How does that connect up?
how does this attach to here? And then all these other little pieces, parts.
Hi, Zimmerman.
Thank you for the hard work. We got everything working.
In one day. Before departing for Bermuda, we decided to test our new electric furler, and here you see us easily winding up our asymmetrical sail. We are so excited. So what are we having, Chef Extraordinaire?
We're having wraps.
Buffalo flavored mayonnaise.
Yes, buffalo flavor.
Ooh.
Seasoned and crisp tortilla.
Thank you.
Alright, so what we do, take the tortilla, get a bit of a dollop across,
A dollop of.
the seasoned buffalo something mayonnaise. Get yourself some lettuce. Then you're gonna pick up some chicken.
And peppers.
Get some veggies.
Yeah.
Gotta get them veggies.
So bell peppers, apple, onions, garlic.
Then, I mean, for me, I'm kind of lazy with mine. But pull it back,
That's how I would do it.
roll it up, and then bon appetit.
Our awesome crew heard a noise. It turns out it was the port engine room bilge pump. There's a teeny tiny bit of water down in there. Dried it up with the poking stick, as I call it. The thing we used to use before we added pistons to our lazarette hatches, just to dry it out. Notice the coolant overflow was a little bit low, so adding new coolant. Here we are leaving Zimmerman's again, hopefully for the last time. We got our old fridge back.
Thanks, Roger.
And yeah. Sad to see you go.
Fortunately, the timing just couldn't work out.
Thanks for hanging with us for a whole week waiting for a weather window to leave. And we're sorry you can't join us, but it's been great and we loved your food, your dumplings especially.
Have a great journey and a safe journey especially.
Just
Safe.
did our last shopping in the United States at Aldi and got a turkey. We're gonna have a turkey this Thanksgiving. We weren't able to find one in South Africa last year, so we're excited about our turkey.
And more chicken.
And pumpkin pie. We got pumpkin pie. Look at that chafe. That's where the noise is coming. What a crazy small world it is. We are here in Hampton, Virginia, waiting to depart for Bermuda. And I went to Robert E. Lee High School, and Steve?
I went to Robert E. Lee High School, Springfield, Virginia.
He graduated a little bit before me.
Quite a bit.
But what a crazy small world. Oh my God, I almost ate this little crab and my oyster. For departure, and Paul had an amazing idea. It's much easier to pick up someone on the starboard side because that's where our helm is. So we're gonna switch our life sling with our throwable.
Another reason to do it, because the swim ladder's there. Paul, you're the master on this trip.
I'm an engineer, guys.
What was the squeak coming from?
Autopilot cylinder itself was dragging on the seal and just need a little bit of lube on the shaft there.
We all need a little bit of lube.
Little lube on the shaft, man.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, she's making all our countertops look gorgeous and shiny. Woo!
So one of the challenges that we've had is exporting the GPX file from PredictWind, figuring out how to put it on the SD card and putting it on the Garmin chart plotters. But what you do is you export it, the GPX file from PredictWind.
Paul, you figured it out for us.
Hey.
What was the trick?
No spaces in file names.
We did this, we put this in.
We go where to, and then we go to manage user data, and we're going to do a data transfer, and we're going to merge from a card, and it's memory card slot 3. Good. We select that, and here's our file. Don't know why the first one has a dot space, but that's the one we want there. We say merge from selected file.
Transfer
Done.
complete.
And now if we close this, and we see this, okay, we're not going to go over the land, but hey, once we get out of here,
There we go.
there's our course, and it has, like, where we're supposed to be at a particular 24, 11, 16, first waypoint.
Second waypoint.
On down. And then on the 17th, it says we're going to cross over somewhere around here. That'll be the 17th, and on out, and it predicts when we'll get there, and it thinks we will get there on the 19th.
Perfect.
Sounds about right.
3 days.
All right.
Let's get the show on the road. I like caulk. This is a caulk gun. This is a caulk gun for our project here. We have done all our pilot holes and everything else, and now we are putting on 4,000 fast cure on the back side of this board, and this is going to protect our sugar scoop. And we got this idea from Kevin. Thanks, Kevin. Genius idea. Ready? Is my thickness okay?
You're kind of tapering off with the thickness of your caulk.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
It helps to have a good steady hand when you're caulking.
Well, and it's a little awkward on this sugar scoop because we have the dock line in the way, power line in the way, Dennis in the way. And man, this stuff dries really fast.
Yeah, we found that out the other day, that by the time we had it on and had the adjustments and got the screws in, it was already biting on there.
Yeah, so you got to be like ready to go. And another thing we learned with the other board, which is symmetrically rectangular, is you better know which way is up so your screw holes match.
I'm screwing slowly. I don't want to screw too fast, but it's sheared off the head of the
I think
screw.
that 4200, just, I don't know why that
I
is.
don't know either.
To prepare your board that you're going to use, and this is PVC 1-inch board, you want to do countersink on all your holes, and you want to make sure these holes are bigger than the holes of the screw. The holes in the carbon fiber will be the size you need, but if these are the same size, it'll just back the board out. That's a lesson we learned when we were working on Cloud Chaser on that fuel tank port window we created. Okay, you ready for some hard caulk?
Fill the hole.
Fill the hole.
And this is a smaller board, so it doesn't need as much caulk.
I don't know if size matters in that case. I think you need just as much caulk.
Well, I think you go with a thicker line of caulk then. So during this project, we ended up stripping out a screw, and we weren't able to get it out with the usual tricks of trying to back it out slowly, using a rubber band or any of those methods, because it was too far sunk down in and too stripped out. So what we have in our little tool kit is an extractor, and what you do is you put this in your drill. You put this end first, and what that's going to do, but you put it in reverse, and that's basically going to create a new hole for the drill bit to bite onto. So you do that, go down reverse this, keep it in reverse, and then slowly you should be able to get those grooves to bite on the inside head of that screw that you're trying to extract. And then it should come out. It's a good little kit to have. All right, so we're gonna get underway here and we're gonna raise sail. And the decision is we're gonna actually start out with a second reef in the main. It's always easier to shake out a reef than to put one in, so we'll start with number 2. Because it is gusting 30 out there, so. Yeah. Captain, we ready to hoist?
Not quite. We have to get into the wind further out.
The captain mentioned we're gonna start with a second reef, and what we've done on our sail is where the reefing points are, we put 2 little zip ties so that we know that that's the second reef. That this is 3 zip ties is the third reef, and then somewhere buried in here is the first reef with 1 zip tie, because that way it's just a quick little reference point, makes it easier to see.
Bye, Hampton.
Virginia.
We're leaving Hampton, and what better place to see a submarine? Check it out.
Ha!